Hello, and welcome to another episode of Sustenance and Covering, the only YouTube channel you need to not only survive but actually enjoy the current apocalypse. Today we're going to talk about poultry housing, because chickens in particular can be a very good survival tool. Chickens are actually able to take items that are unappetizing, such as worms, grass, seeds, and frogs, and convert them into useful, delicious meals of eggs and meat. As you walk into the chicken yard, you'll notice that the chicken house has very stout steps and handrail. That's for a reason. Chickens must be kept dry, and down here that means elevated. You do not want to be going in and out of an elevated chicken coop on rickety steps. Also, a chicken house must be able to keep your flock safe from predators. So you'll notice I have built a very stout door of pressed together 2x4s. As we walk into the chicken house, you'll notice there's another door, a screen door. But this screen door is not covered with standard screen, but hardware cloth, which will keep predators out. That is also the case on the one window at the other end. This helps us to get good ventilation. Actually, with the solid door shut and the shutter shut, which there is a shutter up here, there's a latch. You can still get good cross ventilation because this is built with cedar fence boards, which allow a little bit of air to come through all around. Chickens are good down into the very, very cold temperatures. All you really have to worry about is keeping their water from freezing and not letting them get so cold that their feet or combs get damaged. Here on the right, we have the roost, which in my chicken coop breaks down. If you see that chain there, when you pull that chain, the two key pieces of 2x4 set into the wall will pop out and the whole roost will fall apart. It's held up by these ladders, which also come off the wall. They're only held there by gravity, and it makes it much easier to clean. We don't pull them down every time we clean, but about once a year when we scrub everything down and spray it out, we will remove that as well as all other fixtures in the chicken house. Speaking of other fixtures, we have a waterer, which is sitting on some concrete blocks. Get around here. I found that the height of the concrete blocks, 8 inches, is pretty good for allowing them to still get water, but not giving them, making it real easy for them to put droppings in. As I said, keeps the droppings out. But you'll get them in there anyways, because chickens just by nature will climb up on top of that and whatnot. It's galvanized metal, and the reason for that is we figure that when this system comes to an end that we're living in, we're going to want something that lasts a long time before we have to start figuring out new ways to do things. Back here on the wall is a chicken feeder which hangs by a chain. The water won't hang by a chain. I don't know why they didn't design that into it, but the chain just makes it easy to set the feeder where they don't end up pooping in it and so on and so forth and spilling everything out. Now, another important fixture for a chicken house is the nest boxes. Nest boxes can support 4 hens. So if you have 8 hens, you need 2 nest boxes. If you have 12 hens, you need 3. We only plan on having, probably at any one time, 20 hens that are laying. So we could have gotten away with 5 nest boxes. But it just was just as easy to go ahead and build 12. And the boxes that aren't used, we can use for putting things in if we want. Right now, you'll see in the nest boxes actual nest eggs. These are ceramic eggs put there to fool the chicken into thinking that I'm not taking their eggs. They can't count very good, so if they lay an egg in there, they don't know that there's 4 eggs. So I can take their egg out, and the next day they'll lay another one in there. Standard operating procedure for chicken houses. Down here, you'll notice there's a little door that goes out. When it's inclement weather, or just because I feel like it, I can shut all the doors in here and just leave that open and the chickens can come and go as they please. That's actually a sliding door. If you look there under the receptacle, you'll notice that piece of plywood is different than the one behind the receptacle. That's the actual door. It's in grooves that have been made, slots, so to speak, and when you remove there's a stick in the slot at the bottom. When you remove it, that whole door slides down. Just the way of the door is enough to keep predators out. Also, when you look through there, you'll notice I've got a little chicken ladder. And that is mostly just so that when you do have biddies going in and out of the house, that they can get in and out. They may not be able to use the steps right away. As to how many chickens you can put in this house to maintain a healthy flock, every chicken needs to have 3 square feet of floor space. This building is 10 foot by 12 foot, which comes to 120 square feet. 120 square feet divided by 3 means comes to 40, which means I can keep 40 chickens in here at any time. Of course, the more room you have, the healthier they're going to be, but I would really recommend that you not have less than 3 square feet. Alright, guess let me get a good overview of the whole thing. You'll notice I built a lot of this out of refurbished or salvaged material, and you can do that, but if all you've got is enough salvage material to build something that's really shabby and rickety, go buy you some material to add to it. I had to do that. There's a lot of this I had to buy.